Anyway, welcome again to the training for BHHS Connect, and I'm going to turn the room over to Christina. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Christina Hampton. I get to be your trainer and your host today. I absolutely love training on BHHS Connect, aka KV Core, aka Bold Trail. And so let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we can rock and roll. Oh, it's Oh, okay. I see what it's doing. Sorry again. Apologies. New to new to this. So here we go. There it is. Okay. So BHHS Connect Basics. That's what we are going to talk about today. So that means that we are going to go over what is BHHS Connect, what kind of things do I want to know about when I'm here, what do I want to do, how can this help grow my business, that kind of a thing. And so we are going to talk about some daily best practices. What do you want to do when you log in? We're going to talk about different prospecting opportunities that you can use to go through your database, see who's already there, do some proactive outreach, that kind of a thing. We're going to talk about what BHHS Connect does for you. So, as far as keeping your contacts organized, the automation that's in place, and we're going to talk about closing the deal with Present, which is a pretty cool premium add on product, which is included for you. So, it's included. We're going to cover that as well. So, before we get started, just kind of some level setting that I find to be very important. One is the main ways that we categorize leads and contacts within BHHS Connect. Our first category is our status, and our status tells us where they are along their client journey, right? How close is this person to becoming a client, right? Which is what this is all about. This is all about growing our business and making sure, that we have more and more people that we're helping with real estate. And so our client journey, let me show you that in action. There we go. So each contact has its own record, has all the history of every text you've sent through the smart number, every email that's been sent through BHHS Connect. Uh, it's all in one place in the client history, the client contact record, I should say. And so I've zoomed in just to keep us focused on what I want to share with us right in this second. And so here is my client journey. So, status along this client journey is very, very impactful along our systems of automation. It's also impactful for you on how you want to organize your leads and your contacts. So, first up, I have my sphere of influence. My sphere of influence are my friends, my family members. They might be my past clients. They're going to be my coworkers from previous jobs. Those are going to be my sphere. And I'm going to nurture my sphere very differently than most of these other statuses in here. Because again, I'm not really expecting my sphere to directly become a client. Maybe at some point, yes, but people on average spend, I think it's up to 8 years in their home now. And so I'm not really expecting everyone to buy or sell right now with me. These are people who I want their friends and family to work with me, right? That's who I want with my sphere. These next three statuses here, these all have to do with really what do I know about this contact? What do I want to know about them? And how often should I be reaching out to them? Right. So, really, how close are they to becoming a client? These are my money making statuses, right? These are the people that as I build a relationship with them, they're going to warm up and become a client, right? So, I'm going to build trust with them. I'm going to build my relationship with them. That's these three statuses right here. So, the way that they're different, my new leads are designed to be for people who do not know me at all. These are my brand new leads. Traditionally, with the BHHS Connect system, these are online leads. So if you connect outside sources, like if you're running your own Facebook ads, these would be those people. If you have Zillow, Realtor.com, right? Anything, really any of those online leads, the follow-up systems in here are tailored for those online leads. If they're from something else like an open house or a referral from someone you know, those are going to really be prospects. And the difference is my new leads, I don't know anything about them. Did they click on a pretty picture? Did they submit a home valuation somewhere? Like, are they even interested in real estate? I don't really know yet. And also, they might not know what they don't know. So, my new leads here, it's a lot of follow up, right? And it's trying to educate them on what it is that they need. And so, our follow up system in here is all about like asking those smart questions before they even really realize they have them. Like, hey, do you have a lender? Here's why you need to get pre approved. Let me know if you need help finding a lender. Like, they might not even realize that, okay, pre-approval, pre-qualified, what's the difference? Why is it important? And that's where you step in. So these new leads, I know nothing about them. Prospects, I know something about them, right? So they might be an open house lead. They might be, again, a referral from a friend, or this could be other people. This could be maybe you upload a list of for sale by owners. Maybe this is a list of expired people. So these are people that you at least know are interested in real estate, right? They've taken some form of step to indicate that they're interested in that. So with my prospects, we do have a follow-up system, aka a smart campaign for both buyers or sellers. This is one of the places where you want to start thinking about more specific and tailored ways to follow up, which we'll go into. My active leads, these are people who are actively communicating with me. So they usually answer my phone call. They usually return my text messages. They are open and communicate via email really well. And so my active leads, we do not have a smart campaign for them. I do recommend that you either create one or you can put it in part of your daily best practices, right? Part of your own internal workflows. How often will you follow up with your active leads? And that's a good question for you to think of. How often do I want to talk to my active leads? Right? Then they become clients, right? They're definitely working with me. They've signed a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement. Like, these are my clients. I am their agent. And contract, we enter into offers and counter offers, transaction management, that kind of a thing is involved here. And finally, we close out our deal, right? So I still want to talk to my closed people, right? But it's not going to be every week like the active leads or almost daily like the new leads. It's going to be a little slower paced. So we'll go through that too. So that's status. That is the number one way to categorize our leads and our contacts. Our second way is my deal type, which you heard me lightly mention, right? So are they going to be a buyer when they become client? Are they going to sell their home with me? Are they renting, right? And that is also going to tailor my follow-up system, my smart campaign, right? I'm going to talk to my active leads who are buyers different than my active leads who are sellers. They're going to have different questions for me and they're going to have different needs. I can further specify and delineate and group my contacts with hashtags. Status, these are my statuses. Deal type, these are my deal types. They can be more than one deal type. Hashtag, those are my labels, right? So the things that I think are important to note about this contact, and it helps me with the ways that I choose to group my leads and my contacts together. So this person is a first time home buyer, right? Let me move them to buyer just so that is a little more realistic. So this person's a first time home buyer, meaning they might need a little bit more hand holding, or um, I might need to guide them a little bit more. They've never done this before, right? So what kind of questions can I help them with? They really want a home with a pool and a good yard for their dog, right? So those pieces of information, those hashtags, I add them as I'm talking to this person. I'll show you how to do that too. This helps me, again, see little information, pieces of info at a glance, right? As I go to follow up with Brian, I know he's looking for a home with a pool and a good yard. I know that's important to them. I don't need to look through all their history to see that. Alternatively, I can use this information in my contact section to maybe I'm going to look up everyone who has a dog and send them a text to let them know that the dog park just reopened, right? That happened in my neighborhood. The dog park just reopened. So I can text people who want to live nearby and let them know something more personal than that, right? Hashtags really allow me to communicate with people as people, right? They're not just leads, but they're people. So having those personal conversations can be really helpful as well. Right? And our last category, there's only four, is their source. So where did this lead come from? You can see here, I generated this person door knocking. So as I was walking my neighborhood, I met someone new. I had the mobile app, so I just added them in from there. And I wanted to make sure I remembered that I met them door knocking. Knowing your lead source can help you automate your smart campaigns. It can help you look at your analytics to see where your leads are coming from. It can help you dive in and see, okay, I have most of my leads from this source. Do they deserve a tailored and custom smart campaign, a tailored custom follow-up system? Right, that's a good question, right? But I can figure that out if I'm paying attention to where my leads are coming from, what's the source of my lead. All right, so those are my categories. Right? So my status, where are they in becoming a client? What type of deal will they be when they get there? What hashtag or personal labels do I want to add? And where did this lead come from to begin with? As I mentioned, this is going to help you with smart campaigns. Smart campaigns are our main system of follow-up and automation. There's two that we're going to talk about today. So smart campaigns. It's a series of automated emails and text messages or scheduled task reminders or scheduled calls. They're either created or sent on your behalf based on a set schedule. So, day one, this text goes out, and then day two, an email goes out, that kind of a thing. Smart campaigns in your Bold Trail Pro BHHS Connect system library are thoroughly tested by us inside real estate to the best take on effective campaigns for the given contact type. So we are always looking at these, taking feedback from agents, doing analyzing like what's really working to make sure that we're giving you the most up-to-date information. So let's look at those smart campaigns in action. So smart campaigns, oops, wrong button. I apologize because I'm new. Let me reshare. There we go. Okay. Smart campaigns. Smart campaigns are those pre-created systems of follow-up that we have for you in here, right? So we have a whole list of them for you. If you go in your BHHS Connect, two ways to get there. The easiest way, so I'm going to show you that one first, is just to use this handy dandy search bar. So handy dandy search bar, I'm going to look for smart campaign, and it's going to take me right to my smart campaign. Now, in your smart campaign, you have additional campaigns that I don't have in my demo account. So I took a quick screenshot of this. Now, let me zoom in a little bit and let's kind of walk through what everything on this list means. But I wanted to show you that you have a bunch of smart campaigns that are ready to go and ready to utilize. So my account, I only have two, but you have a whole bunch that are ready to go. So what is happening in each of these columns? First up, I have the name of my campaign, right? So this gives me kind of like an idea of what is happening in this campaign. Then I have a brief description. You can go and edit these descriptions to make them more what you want them to be if you make a copy of these campaigns. So when does this campaign start? It starts when my status changes to closed, right? We went through all those statuses. So as someone moves from client into closed, this closed campaign is going to attach for them. It's designed for all deal types. So whether you're a buyer or a seller or a renter, all of those deal types, this will attach to it. Now, what are the channels of communication that we're having here? We are going to change status in this campaign. We are going to have calls that are scheduled for us. There will be emails that are sent out on my behalf, and there will be text messages sent out on my behalf. There are 8 touches in this specific campaign, and its status is on. Now, status is probably the most important thing here. There's probably 2 important things here. So, status is whether or not this is even on and available to be added to my contacts. Now, going back to the screenshot that I took of yours, right? These are yours and they're mostly on, right? So they're in here ready to rock and roll for you. The last column on here is scope. Scope is who made this campaign and who can edit this campaign. So right now, all of yours are in here at company scope. That means that it's available for you to use. It's a resource, but you cannot edit it. And some of you won't care about editing. I know plenty of agents, they don't want to get in there and mess with that. No worries. Some of you will want to get in there and make some changes, and that's fine too. So what you'll want to do in that case is just make a quick copy, right? So if I really like one of my campaigns, let me show you what yours look like. There we go. And mine are at the end. So in my campaigns, those are the ones that are on active running. Those are the ones that you can use easily. The system library are the entire history of campaigns we've ever had. So remember that my campaigns, those are the most recent, most tested ones, but there are additional items in the system library if you want to go and kind of check out either what our older campaigns look like, or we do have a couple that are good for buyers that not everyone would want to use. So it's kind of tucked away in the system library. So that's what you'll do if you want to make your own copy. You'll go to the system library and say, okay, I want the system closed, right? I want this smart campaign. So I can look at it first. So I can click on its name. It opens up the campaign. So I kind of get an idea of it. And then I can clone it, right? So I just make a copy of this. So this is my system closed. This is for new closings. This is not for old closings. This is for people as they close. So we just make a quick copy of it. Now, I don't have to worry about, you won't have to worry about the campaign scope in my demo account. I do. I don't want to change anything else, right? So status is closed. That's perfect. It's for my buyers and sellers. That's exactly what I want. I'm going a little quick through this because you don't need to touch any of it. Now here, the campaign name, I do change this. Instead of copy, I like to put my initials so I know that it's mine. It helps me track down things that I have made. And if I wanted to change the description, I could do that too. And then when I'm all ready to go, I click finish. Now that I have my very own copy of this campaign, my last step is going to be to turn it on, right? So that way I can start utilizing it. Now, if you want to go in and make edits to things, you can. So if I wanted to look at that system closed campaign, instead of just viewing the task or viewing the email, I could go in and make some changes. Now, honestly, you don't really need to do a whole lot of changing in here. Might be worth giving just a look over. Also, one thing to think about is our defaults are designed for our users that have a connected website. So things like guiding you on creating a listing alert, that is something that might be worth looking at. So if I click view, past clients want to know if houses are hitting the market around them and what they're listed for. Set up a specific property alert. Right. So if this will show you how to create one in BHHS Connect for our users with websites. But for you, it's still valid to set up a search alert. You might do that in your MLS or in another tool like that. So reminding you to set up a listing alert, definitely still an important thing to do. But just note that our video on how to is going to be for our users who have that website component. All right. So yeah, you can glance through, see what you might want to edit, see what you like here, see what you don't like here. Perfect. So as you can see, as you are nurturing your leads and your contacts through all of those stages, there's all these different things of follow-up. Now, getting to our daily best practices. Your different contacts are going to be on different days of these smart campaigns, right? If I get a new lead today, they'll be on day 1. But if I got a new lead 20 days ago, they're going to be on day 20, right? So, how do I make sure that I'm completing my calls, that I'm completing my tasks, and I'm holding up my end of the bargain of what's happening in these smart campaigns? I do that with my number one daily best practice, which is log in. Now, you can log in here on the computer, which is what I do. You could also log in using the mobile app, right? So, your second kind of assignment, your first is to think about how often you want to contact your active leads. How often do you want to follow up with your active leads, right? What does that mean for you? Your second task is to download the mobile app if you have not done that yet. So simple, you just click download the mobile app. It will take you to a nice little easy to find button. You just text yourself the link and you're good to go. Okay, so that's your kind of side assignment. So daily best practice, I'm going to teach you here on our computer, but you can do this same thing on the mobile app. The most important thing is just that you get it done. So I'm going to look at my activity stream, my tasks, and my calls, right? This is doing what has been served up for me. So here on my activity stream, I will see things like, is there a new lead I need to reach out to? Has someone looked at a presentation, right? Have they opened an email link to that? I'll see that here on my dashboard. Did someone text me to the smart number? I just want to make sure I responded to everything appropriately. Who's opened my emails? If I'm using core listing machine, are my listing assets ready, right? So here on my dashboard, this is what has happened since the last time I came in that I might want to respond to. Once you respond to it, you can exit that out, right? And then it's nice and clean for you. So that's kind of one goal, is to get my dashboard activity cleared out and clean. And I don't need to respond to anything. I've already done it. The second thing on here is my task list. So my tasks, these are either scheduled for me from those smart campaigns or they're scheduled by me, right? Either for me or by me. And finally, I have my calls. And same thing, these are scheduled for me from my smart campaigns, for me from my daily call creation, which we have not looked at yet, or by me manually. Okay, so let's look at daily call creation. This is my favorite feature of BHHS Connect. It's right here. It's not very shiny, but it is my absolute favorite thing. So this is going to ask me, this is going to like look for people for me to call, right? This is looking for hot opportunities for me, right? This is looking for people who I haven't called and I need to get back in touch with. any new leads that maybe fell through the cracks, anyone who it's going to look for opportunities for me to communicate with people, right? So activity stream, tasks, and phone calls. For my daily best practices, that's it right there. So activity stream, right? I have a new lead here. So how do I handle that? I personally like to click on their name and I like to look at their history, which is in the center section here, right? And I like to see, okay, what has already happened, right? Have they been put on a smart campaign yet? Have they responded to one of those automated emails yet? Like what has already happened since I got in here? And then I like to call them, right? So that's how I handle new leads. I look and see if there's any history in the center. I look on the right-hand side and I see if there's any automation in place, like the smart campaigns. And then I pick up the phone and I call them. So that's with my new leads. Other things that I'll see here again is if there's a text message I might want to respond to, if I have new emails that I might want to look at. There's even a drop down menu if I want to get more specific, like if I have a lot of things going on here and I want to get more specific what I'm looking at. And then when I'm all done, I'm just going to exit out this activity tile. All right, my tasks. Tasks, again, are scheduled by me or for me. So it'll tell me when that task is due, the contact's name, and it'll tell me kind of the why of this task here. So if I already know that I've done it, I can just click done. So like I talked to Tessa yesterday, it's all logged in here. This is just a reminder. So I'm going to mark that as done. I already know I did it. But Brian, it's time for my weekly check-in. I scheduled this and I'm not sure the last time I talked to Brian. So let me click on Brian's name and I can look at the history. Right? Okay, I sent an email. Wow, it's been a long time. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I've talked to Brian. Thank goodness I have this reminder. So I'm going to send them an email. I don't have a phone number for them. I'm going to send them an email. I might even send them a premium video. Premium video is there's a free trial and then there's a free version. So the free version, after you go through the premium trial, is that you can send 10 videos a month. You can only send them to an individual. So I can send Brian one video and I can send Tessa one video and Christina one video. Okay, so that's 3. So in the free version, I can do 10 videos a month. In the premium version, I have unlimited videos and I have a library of things. I can create a library. Like maybe I want to introduce myself in a video, and I don't want to have to record that every time. So I can save it in a library. And with the premium version, I can also add that into my smart campaigns. So that's just a little nugget. There is a free version of those 10. There is a trial first, a free trial. Let's check out all the premium stuff. That is going to be your extra credit assignment is to go sign up for premium video, your free trial if you haven't yet, and utilize it. So your 2 actual things to do, download the mobile app, think about how often you want to follow up with your active leads. And then your kind of bonus is to go check out the premium video free trial. All right. So we got here because we were looking at our tasks, right? Brian Williams, weekly check-in. I just realized I haven't done that in a while. So I click on his name. Let's say I send him a video. Now I can mark that as done. So I can mark it as done from within his record, or I can go back to the dashboard and mark it from there. Or let's say, dang, okay, let's edit this because he deserves a little bit of love and I don't quite have time for that. So record a new welcome video for Brian. And I am just going to move that to tomorrow because I have a little bit more time. And I'm going to save that task. Right. And then that's now updated. So I don't forget. Okay. Okay. Now I have my phone calls. My phone calls, again, they're scheduled by me or they're scheduled for me from my smart campaigns or this daily call creation. So here I have Christina. And when am I supposed to call her? And this is something I scheduled for myself. I know that because it says reminder, the call was scheduled. And when I scheduled that call, I wanted to welcome this person back from vacation. So same thing as with my tasks. If I need a little bit more history on Christina, I can click on her name and look at her record first. But if I'm ready to just call and get that done, I can click this call button. Now, completing your calls in BHHS Connect, I can do this call now option. That is my favorite option. That will utilize my smart number, which is the digital number connected to my account. This digital number allows me to make phone calls from a computer. It allows me to text from a computer. It allows me to send mass texts, all kinds of good stuff. I can alternatively pick up my phone and just call using my phone. In that case, I just want to log what I did. Like, okay, I called this person and I talked to them, or they called me, and here are some notes from that phone call. Or the third option. So option one, call now. Option two, pick up your phone, call like normal. Just remember to log it. Option three is to use the mobile app. That's why I love the mobile app so much. The mobile app will log your call. The mobile app uses your cell phone number. Love it. Mobile app. Always, always, always make notes. Don't expect that you're going to remember what you talked about. And while you are making notes, you can also add hashtags. So they are looking to buy in the summer of 2025, right? They do not have a lender, so they need a lender. Oops. And I can save that. Right, so this is complete. It'll clear out in just a second. And now I've completed my calls for the day. Okay, so that's my number one daily best practice is to get in here and complete what has been served up for you. Okay. Your next daily best practice is those prospecting opportunities. Oh, was there a question? No? Okay.
There was a
So,
quick question in the chat that asked specifically about the texting. When they text
yeah.
from the number internally, is there a signature on it, and do they know it's from that specific agent?
Oh, great question. Yes. If you look in your profile, so if you click in your name in the top right corner and then look at your profile, there is a text signature. So this you can decide, like if you're in more than one office or if you're on a team, you can change the entity here. Additionally, part of keeping you safe is that our text messages always, not always, our your initial text message to someone does include a signature, and then every 15 days after that, it will include a signature and that will identify you. So yeah, great question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we do have an article on that, all about text deliverability. So I'm going to see if I can put that in the chat. There it is. Cool. So there's an article all about text deliverability. So yeah, great question. Cool. All right. So prospecting, in my opinion and the opinion of the trainers, your daily best practices include your dashboard and then also doing something outbound towards a group of contacts. So here in your contact section, pretend I have hundreds of contacts instead of just my four. I can search for one specific person and email and text that one person. I can also use my filters to find a group of people. So I've done my reactive stuff. I've done what BHHS Connect has done for me. So now I want to go to my contact list and decide for me and my business and my goals, who do I need to reach out to today? Right? Is that my active leads, right? Maybe I talk to my active leads every Monday. That's my best practice, right? Once a week. So I can look here. I uh, sent them a comm 5 months ago. I did make a task to send a reminder video, so I'm good there. Maybe I want to look at all of my new leads, or maybe I want to look at all my prospects or my sphere of influence. I can organize by status. I can also organize by deal type, right? So think of reminder, my four main categories: status, deal type, hashtag, and last but not least, my source is in contact details. So I mentioned the new dog park opening up. So today I'm going to just do a little bit more casual outreach. I'm going to reach out to everyone I've ever given a label of dog. I'm going to send them all a text. Now, the cool thing with texting or emailing from here is that everyone gets an individual email or they get an individual text. So they have no idea that this is a group a group project kind of, right? I'm texting 5, 10, 15 people that the dog park is opened, but they're all receiving an individual text from me through that smart number. So I text and I'm just going to write my own message. I'm going to say, hey, and I'm going to insert their first name. So I use that little fancy bracket. Okay, first name. The Point Study a Dog Park has reopened. Reopened. Have you been by yet? And send that to them. Right? Just a casual outreach. My text was not sent because that is clearly a fake number. But that's the idea, right? I can think about, I want to do some kind of outreach here every day. So it can be to a specific status. It can be maybe today I want to look at my sellers who have phone numbers, right? Maybe I want to look up a certain hashtag today, right? But this is where I say, okay, of my contacts, who do I want to talk to today? Or I can come in and look at some additional details, right? There's so many details in here and their behavior. This is my favorite section. So let's see who doesn't have a hashtag, right? Do some housekeeping. Every single one of your contacts should have a hashtag. And if not, that should be your next goal. Because if you don't have a hashtag on them, you don't really know anything about them. And how can you help them if you don't know anything about them? So this can be kind of a spring housekeeping goal for you. Go through your contact list, see who doesn't have a hashtag, and do your best to give them one. Make those phone calls, send them a text messages, make up a Google form of, hey, I'm getting to know my contact list. Can you tell me where you are in your process of buying or selling a home, right? Kind of talk them through that. And then add hashtags to them. You can look up things like, do they have a phone number? Do they not have a phone number? Are they even subscribed to receive phone calls? Are they subscribed to text messaging, but this next one, they're subscribed, but they can't get mass texts? So this is another really, really good like housekeeping type of thing to do. So my first one was no hashtags. My second one under contact details, SMS subscribe so they can receive individual texts, but they're pending consent, so they're not going to receive mass or automated texts. So that's a really good one. That has to do with that article I shared with the text deliverability, keeping your consumers safe, things like that. So those would be two kind of like housekeeping type things I would do for sure. And you don't have to do them every day, right? Maybe this is a once a month thing. You look at this list of people and you individually text them. And the way to get them to opt in is to have them respond to that text. So it can be as simple as, hey, Jeff, is this your phone number? like, oh, hey, I'm cleaning out my system. I just want to confirm. Hey, can you send me your email address? Like anything that's going to have them say yes or no or some kind of response, that's a good thing. Whether or not they have a birthday, right? There's so many cool things in here. Under behavior, so I could look down to this other section that's going to be best for me, or has responded via, or does not have a running campaign. So this is another housekeeping. So number one, housekeeping, no hashtag. Number two, that SMS pending consent. Number three, who does not have a running campaign. Now, you don't have to remember these things because you could write them down right now. And after this webinar, go into your account and say, okay, contact details. Let's see who has a phone number, but SMS pending consent. Let's view that. Luckily, I don't have anything, but I could save this, right? So I can save this filter. So this is no mass texting, work this list monthly, right? So then once a month, I just come over here to my save filter list. I click the button. There's my list of people to work, right? I don't have to think about it, which is great.
Christina, we
All
had a
right.
quick question about texting. Can I pop in here?
Yeah, please
So
do.
the question is if they respond to those text messages that are going out, does it only show up within BHHS Connect, or does it also text their individual phones?
Great question. Both. So yes, it will text you and it will show up within BHHS Connect. So yes. And bonus, if you have downloaded the mobile app, you can also get push notifications through the mobile app as well. So then you can kind of decide, do I like the mobile app? Do I like texting? Like which one do I like better? You can do both. You could do neither, but I wouldn't. So yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank
I
you.
will grab, you're welcome. I will grab an article for us about notification settings, and I'll put that into the chat as well. There we go. Now, where I'm going to find all these cool articles, uh, in your BHHS Connect, if you go to more and then you go to support resources, it will open up this lovely tab and you can search for like almost anything that you need help with. So I searched for text and then I searched for notification to get those two articles. We have this dictionary. This will be the last article I share because there's so many good ones. So we have a dictionary in there to like, okay, Christina gave me a lot of terminology. So let's, solidify those. And some of us learn better by reading. I do. So there's that. Okay, cool. So in your daily best practices, you want to touch your contact list every day, right? So we daily best practices, we do our dashboard and we do our contact list. When we're in our contact list, that can be sending out a mass email to that group of people, sending out a mass text. It can be scheduling a task like, hey, reminder to call them. It can be adding a smart campaign to a group of people, right? I want to make sure that everyone's on some kind of follow-up system so I don't forget them. It can be printing out address labels, right? Maybe I'm doing a client appreciation event, so I want them to get like a handwritten invite kind of a thing. So I can do things like that as well. All right. So we've talked about daily best practices and prospecting opportunities and what does BHHS Connect do for you? Let's seal the deal with Present. So Present is again a premium add-on product, but you have it included. So it is not a paid thing for you. You can search for it up in the top, which is my preference. I like to just search for things and there it is, Present. Or I can go and hunt it down in my marketing section. Either one is fine. So I look at my Present, and what you want to know about Present is that there are three different looks and feels to the presentations that you can make. There is a modern presentation, which is kind of clean, um, graphs, that kind of a thing. There is traditional, which is a little bit more like fun and infographic rich. And then there is luxury. There we go, which is more high resolution images with written word. So let's get an idea of what that looks like. So I'm going to go to my presentation library, which is up in the top right. And this is going to show me every slide that I have available to me. This is also where I go if I want to make my own slides. I can always add my own content. I can either make it in here or I can upload a slide I already have, whichever I'd like. So for example, this is black on black because that's what I have it set as, but here's a slide that talks about the home buying process, right? Establish a budget, what's your wish list, buyer tours, make an offer, offer accepted, right? That's the process. We are looking at the traditional theme. So this is like fun, infographic rich. If we look at our modern theme, see how it is the same information, but it's more like this text based, like clean look and feel. And if I go luxury, high resolution images combined with text information. So I recommend heading over to that presentation library. It is a good place to get to know what every slide is that we have. Now let's break down the presentations. So we have presentations for your sellers. That can be a full listing presentation with, there we go, analytics of comparable properties. It's going to be a CMA. You can upload your contract in here, and at the end, it asks for feedback. We have presentations designed for buyers too. So, designed to win the representation. There's, again, analytics in here. There's custom content of slides designed for buyers. You can do a buyer tour, which is a little different, where you have that list of properties you're going to take them on. Or you can win the offer, which is kind of a combination, right? You do a CMA, like help your buyers put in a competitive offer, educate them as to what the market is saying this home is worth. Analytics of those comparable properties, custom content. Those are the slides that you're going to have in there to show them about the market. And maybe you don't have a subject property in mind. Maybe you just want to talk with like just those slides, or maybe you made your own custom content in here, any of that. So you can do that here as well. So let's put one of these together real quick. We are going to win the listing. And so when I go to win the listing, first step is to put in, that property address. So I'm going to start typing that in. And it usually autofills for me. Oh, it started to. And if it doesn't, I'll just keep typing and that's fine. Yeah, that one. And I click next. Now, if we do not find any public information, that's fine because you can always just add it in here, right? So I know this has 5 bedrooms and it has 2 baths and its living space about 2,800. This also allows you, even if it does have public records, it will pull up or it will allow you to make edits because we all know public records aren't always accurate anyway. So it is kind of nice that I can go in there and make changes. So I have my property and I click comparable details. And we are going to, here's my subject property, and we are going to compare like to like, right? So we are going to compare single family to single family, bed count to bed count, bath count to bath count, right? And square footage, we're going to do like 20% in either direction. Now, this one, I should have picked a different property because that is a pretty unique one. So let's do this one instead. It just does not want to load for me right now. I apologize for that. So we'll just pick one. There we go. So it's going to have me put in my bed count, my bath count, my square footage, and then we'll go and see, according to the MLS, what else is nearby and available. So the default is it's a 1 mile radius. I can always go and change this. So if I want it to be smaller, or if I want it to be bigger, or if I want to draw, so like if there is a specific neighborhood that I want this to be looking at, or if I want to be like within the city limits, I can do something like that too. I'm going to just try and get us some more comps, which apparently we just don't have. That's okay. So then I go to build out my CMA. And it's going to think about it. And it's going to allow me to see all those different comparable properties. It's going to go through and analyze the market for me. So based on what's currently active, what is the average sale price? What is the average um, days on market? What is the price per square footage? So all this information helps me properly price my subject home. I can then enter in what I think this house is worth. I can allow the sellers to put in what they think the house is worth. I can um, put in like what their aunt thinks the house is worth. So if they want to do different things like that, we can definitely do that too. And then I go to create my presentation. So now that I'm ready to create my presentation, I decide, okay, what order do I want these slides to be in? Do I want it to be in the order that I've already selected? Are they contingent? So they need to sell this home quickly? The slides change and update. Are they shopping me? So they want to know why I'm the right fit first. The slides change and update. Or make me list and pull me into the market. Again, the slides change and update. I can swap this first slide. So I like to put my client's name there and then put the address there. I also like to put in an image of my subject property. Hopefully I drove by and maybe took a quick shot of it, that kind of a thing. And then I can still rearrange these sections. So while it's helping me, I can click and drag. I can also click and rearrange the slides that are in here. And again, it has suggested slides, but if I want to go to my marketing and my buying activity and I want to add in a slide or remove a slide, I can do that, right? So if I want to talk about the importance of staging, I can add that in, right? And if I want to remove this buyer interest slide, because maybe it's not giving me results that are awesome, I can do that. So I can remove slides and add slides and click and drag and all that good stuff. And then when I'm ready, I present and share. So now I'm going to save and connect it to a client, right? So if I save and connect it to a client, let's put this on Brian and add that in. And if I'm anticipating a yes, which I always am, I can add in my listing agreement. So I can upload a PDF or put a link in here. I can do my homework and make them a net sheet. But now I'm ready to share this presentation with them. So I can either open it and go through it. I can email them a link to go through it on their own, which gives me analytics, shows me what they click on, when they open it, when they close it. I get all that notification. And when it's done rendering, I can download and print it out as well, or alternatively. So however I want to share this is just fine. So now I have this nice presentation here, and I can go back in to BHHS Connect and look at my contacts, and there's Brian. And on my right-hand side or in the center, I'll be able to see, okay, I made a presentation for them. So you can make updated presentations. You can do an updated CMA and do that like once a month and send them that manually. You can use it to seal the deal, right? All kinds of cool stuff. So that brings us to the end of our day. We talked about our daily best practices. going through our contact list for prospecting opportunities. BHHS Connect does a lot for you with those smart campaigns and the ability to search, sort, and filter, and also sealing the deal with Present. So thank you all for your time today. So glad to get to know you all. I hope you all have a great rest of the day. If there's any other questions in the chat.
Do you have time for a couple of quick questions that were in here?
I sure do. Okay.
Perfect. So the last one is just best practices for importing your contacts, either gathering your sphere functions and things like that. So
Yeah. So gathering your contacts, we have kind of two big tools to help with that. Let's see. There we go. So like, I saw that someone mentioned the playbook. So I do really like the playbook. The playbook is like step by step how to do things. So gathering your sphere. Gathering your sphere is giving you step by step on bringing your sphere into BHHS Connect. And so when you do this, it talks you through how to do the import. One thing that I want to show you, if I go to my lead engine section on the left-hand side, and then go down to the bottom, there's my bulk import here. And up on the top right corner, I really, really like this. It's like a thought exercise on the 10 by 10 method. So I'll put this link in the chat as well. So this is the 10 by 10 method. And so this takes you through, like, you can download a template, which is anytime I can have a template, happier I am. And it has me think of, the idea is you think of 10 categories where you might know someone from. So renting a home, neighbors on my street, newly married, um, doctors, lawyers, teachers, Facebook friends, right? So think of 10 categories where you know people. And then try to think of 10 people from each of those locations. So this is one way, if you kind of are like, I can't think of a single person to add in. This is a good, quick memory jogger. And then the template has like, hey, okay, now that you've thought of the person, now go back in and fill in their contact information. So like step one, don't overthink it. Just go and put their contact or put their names in there, how you know them, and then their names, and then go back later and do the contact info. So when you're all done with that, then you can import that into Bold Trail. And so there's lots of details in here. Definitely read through this guide, through this sheet. And so you can then import your contacts. The difference between importing here and running the playbook. So if you're going to import your contacts here, this is more for like, I mean, either one will work. The reason I like the playbook option and the gathering your sphere, this is designed more for people who are just in that friends, family, past client category. So if most of your contacts are the other categories, new leads, prospects, active leads, I would do the bulk import because you can automatically put them on a smart campaign that way. If you go this way, gather your sphere, friends, family, past clients, you actually need to do this playbook in order to do this playbook, which is one of my favorite things and ways to nurture your contacts. So gathering your sphere, open that playbook. So first you import your contacts. If you've already done it, you can just click done. If you haven't, you can submit it through here and go this way. So I'm just going to skip.
I was going to say, just as a quick reminder too, for those of you who already have contacts in either RWT Connect or you already have them in Sage CRM, we do have that connection turned on that is going to sync all of those too. So if you do a import into BHHS Connect, just know that those contacts, if they already exist, there's some deduplication there and everything else. Make sure that all works together. But also, if there's anything new that you decide to put into BHHS Connect, it will filter back down to Sage CRM and down into RWT Connect as well. So those three things are talking to each other right now. So if you go to bulk import and you realize, or if you've opened BHHS Connect for the first time, and you realize that there's already a bunch of contacts in there, the reason is because we have that toggle turned on just to make sure that we get those contacts syncing for you.
Love that. Yeah, good to know. This second section, the capturing social media, that one won't quite function without our connected website. But then you'll go to create sphere groups. So this is those hashtags, and it's going to give you some suggested hashtags. So like, okay, this is my sphere, so friends and family, coworkers, neighbors. So it has some suggested hashtags. You can also search through the ones that maybe you already have. Like you saw that I already have a bunch in here. So if there's one that I already have, like maybe I have my farm or something like that, I can pull that in. I could add more. So what hashtags are
Christina?
for my sphere? Yeah.
Didn't want to interrupt real quick. Can you close out the 10 by 10 method? It looks like it didn't pick up the other screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, no, you're good.
Share
We
this.
didn't make it too far down the road. There we go.
New to Microsoft Teams. Okay, so quick reclay. We're gathering our sphere. You can submit through here your file. I also recommend talking to our specialists. So this is free. It's a one-on-one screen share. So once you have your file, either from the 10 by 10 or just a download or export from something you have, talk to our experts, make sure everything's formatted correctly. The social media won't quite function correctly, so we're just going to skip that. And now we're going to make our hashtags, right? So it has a couple suggestions. I can pull up the hashtags that I've already used, or I can add new ones and save and continue. Oh, okay, I skipped it. That's going to make me do it. So once I have my hashtags, now it's going to say, okay, now it starts helping you work the sphere that you have. So if I didn't import people, right, with my hashtags. So, okay, now that I know that I have friends and family, it's going to allow me to search through my sphere in here and add friends and family to them, right? Or I could maybe I already have friends, so I'm going to pull in that hashtag and I want to add them to hashtag friends and family, right? Or if I have them as a save filter. So it's allowing me to add people into hashtags. Then I can save and continue, or I can go hashtag by hashtag. So this gathering your sphere and working your sphere playbook is designed to go hashtag by hashtag or group by group. Right. So now coworkers. Okay, who do I have that are coworkers? Do I already have them hashtagged? Are they individuals I haven't put in here yet? Okay, next group, neighbors, same thing, same logic, right? And you don't have to sit here and do this all at once. You can come back, you can spend 10 minutes a day on this. Like that's the cool thing about these playbooks is you can always come back to them. So save and continue. Do I have behavioral alerts on for them? Save and continue. Here we go, upcoming messages. So this is important, right? Who do I have with birthdays coming up? Who do I have with anniversaries coming up? I don't have any coming up, but if I did, I would be able to quickly see a list of them. And I can even see what email and text is going out for them. Get that play. Okay, and now that it's kind of gathered and set up, I'm ready to go. So once I do that playbook, then I'm able to do the Work My Sphere playbook. So here is now I work them. So I go hashtag by hashtag, and it allows me to like fill in communication gaps. So Chris is in friends and family, and I'm missing his address and his birthday and his home anniversary. So, okay, maybe I'm going to call up Chris. Maybe I realize I have that in my calendar. I need to update it in here. But it allows me to go hashtag by hashtag and see missing pieces of information. My favorite one is this like memory jogger for life events. Okay, thinking about Facebook in the last month. Did anyone get married? Did anyone get divorced? Did anyone have a baby? Did anyone change jobs? Like my LinkedIn. that would be very smart to look at this and add in here. And then I have this list and I can send this list to the mobile app and just allows me to call through that list really easily. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So either gather your sphere to bring in your friends and family, or you can just go to lead engine and go to bulk import if it's more like potential clients, active leads, new leads, that kind of a thing. Yeah, good question.
Awesome. You can feel free to put any additional questions into chat, but we'll grab one more while we're here. Can you just show the best places to get help if an agent is sitting in here at 11 o'clock at night and they're not entirely sure what to do once they get in here? Can you show those couple of different help places that are available in here?
Absolutely. So one is this blue smiley face chat widget on the bottom right-hand side. So that little smiley face, there is a bot here. And so this bot answers about 30% of information. So if it is, that midnight 11 p.m., our humans aren't there at that time, but the bot is always there for you. So send us a message, and I might want to search the help desk, which are those articles I showed you. I might ask a question, or I might report an issue. So if I want to ask a question, it's going to pop up with there we go. And I'm going to, how can I work my sphere of influence? And I'm curious. I want to know what it says. So it's thinking, right? There's that little warning that's an AI bot. And we'll let that think while it comes back to us. Still thinking, yes. So that's one option. There we go. It gives me all kinds of ideas. The other option is I like to go onto the left side under this More tab, and there's training and learning paths. So this is like e-learning courses. So if I want to sit down and learn that way, support resources, which is those articles that we looked at earlier, or going back over here, I have a training calendar as well. So this is these are recorded webinars that you'll hear, but you can ask questions in the chat and then it's answered by real life people by the end of the next business day. So if it is 11 p.m., again, real life people aren't there, but you could chat in questions and we'll answer it the next day. And then last but not least, we do have an agent community. So that's a great place to go to ask questions of other users, right? Hey, how are you working your sphere of influence? Hey, what are you doing to manage XYZ? What is your favorite smart campaign? Hey, does anyone have a smart campaign that does this that you would mind sharing with me? Right? So those kinds of things would be in the agent community.
Can we take
All
one
right.
more question?
Yes, I have 2 more minutes. So yes,
All
we
right.
could take one
So
more
I
question.
promise you, this one is a really specific question, but
Yeah, I
everybody here
love
is
questions.
new to texting, so we just want some clarification on that. It's
Yeah.
multi-part, so hang in there. If you send a text from the mobile app, does it come from the agent's phone number? And
Such a
then
good question.
does it give the option to somebody to unsubscribe from the texting? And if they do, does that affect the ability to contact that person in the future?
Oh, good
So
questions. So, part one, texting from the mobile app. You actually can text from the smart number or from your cell phone number. So, texting, you have that option in the mobile app. The pros of the smart number is that that's what all the automation comes from. So, I like the idea of like sending a text to people that I already know and say, hey, I have this digital phone number. I have this work phone number. I have this digital office number that you might get some communication from me from time to time. So, like, just introduce them to it. Um, in the mobile app, you get to pick. And so, if you use your cell phone, because maybe you're more comfortable with that, there's someone you already know, a million reasons, it's not going to log it in BHHS Connect. So that's the downside of texting with your cell phone number. But you could always text and then add a note. Oh, send a text or however you want to manage that. So that's kind of like the give or take. If you like the comfort of it being your cell phone number that you already have, that's fine. You can And then going to the other question, unsubscribe. All of our unsubscribes are handled individually. So meaning you have the ability to call someone, you have the ability to text them, and you have the ability to email. So all the unsubscribes are handled separately. So if someone unsubscribes from texts, you can still call them. If they don't want to receive phone calls, you can set that in their contact record. So let's see, let's look at someone with a phone number, Christina Hampton test here. So if they do not want a call, you can see here, so this person is unsubscribed from text messaging, but I can still send them emails and I can still call them. So I can always go and edit their profile. And there are different permissions in here. So like here I could call them and I can email them, but I can't text them. So I can switch up whatever it is that I need to change in order to make this accurate and correct. And the texting and emailing, our system will automatically do that for you. So if we receive a stop word in the text, which is like stop, or a couple pieces of colorful language, we will unsubscribe them automatically. Or if they click one of the buttons to unsubscribe, we do that automatically. So yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for taking those last few questions from us. We really appreciate your time today. So just as a
Absolutely.
quick reminder, all of this training will be available in our training library over the next couple of days. Give us an opportunity to process it and get it all ready for you. But again, thank you very much for joining us for BHHS Connect. And thank you again to Christina Hampton for doing our training for us today. Have a great day,
Happy to
everyone.
be here.